Someone told me that the Library of Dusk is a trap for
Please, listen to me for just a moment. It's very important.
You want to make some gold? This one would speak with you for a moment, Walker. You might be interested in an opportunity to earn some gold by helping someone in need? This one's brother is called Sarashi. Sarashi is big time, very well connected in the city. But Sarashi is in deep water and can't swim. Owes boss man much money. You've heard of Midnight Union, yes? Midnight Union is very different in recent days. Sarashi's boss is not so patient. Sarashi needs gold, fast. This one cannot help his brother anymore. But you will go see Sarashi upstairs in the inn, yes? Offer to help him, yes? He will pay. This one is very grateful that you will be helping his brother. Sarashi is a good and honest worker for the Midnight Union. He's only fallen on hard times. This one is glad you understand. Whatever business Midnight Union has in Wayrest, Sarashi handles it. Buying, selling, trading. Sarashi helps city dwellers too. Lends money to those in need. He's a good one.
Oh no, it's you! Have you come from Hosni? Please, please have mercy! Sarashi promises to have Hosni's gold soon, but Sarashi cannot get Hosni's gold if he's dead. Tell Sarashi you've not come to kill him. Ha! Sarashi's brother's so kind. Abandons and asks a stranger to take his place. He's soon chasing sweetmeat in Senshal. No one cares for Sarashi. Brothers should be loyal. You owe Sarashi nothing, but Sarashi will pay for help, yes? Sarashi owes debts, but he's also owed debts. There are 3 in the city who have gold that should be Sarashi's. First is a gambler, next is a nobleman, and the last is a smuggler. You help Sarashi collect, and Sarashi pays generous percentage. Sarashi has marked where you can find these debtors on the map. Start with the gambler, Louis Irvine. Irvine owes Sarashi the most money. Sarashi needs money from the others too, but search for them after Irvine. You are helping Sarashi, yes? Then Sarashi will tell you anything. Well, almost anything. You would like to know about the gambler, the nobleman, or the smuggler? Just ask, and Sarashi will tell. Irvine, Louis Irvine. He is a nice man, but a little dungy, and he has no sense. Keeps making bets even when he's lost everything. Sarashi feels sorry for Irvine, but forgives his debt for too long. Sarashi must collect now. These upper class turn their noses up at Sarashi until they need Sarashi's help. Padir Nit comes from old family, very rich, but not anymore. Nit says he has no money to pay Sarashi back, but Sarashi thinks Nit is lying. Captain Mark, very smart man. Smuggles weapons, skooma, whatever makes him gold, yes? Mark lost his ship though, borrowed money for a new one. Sarashi needs money back now. You know Captain Mark? Very good, then you'll have an easier time convincing him to pay Sarashi back.
Ah, right on time. I'm joking, of course. Honestly, I feared you wouldn't come. Divination and prophecy yield few certainties. Still, this vision was clearer than most. You and I, this room, the scent of ale and wood smoke. Yes, this was meant to be. I'm afraid it's not as easy as that. I see a tangle of futures. A swirling mass of action and consequence. Every now and again, though, a specific moment strikes like a thunderbolt. Moments like this. Some dark entity stalks the oracles of Azura. Yes, servants of the Twilight Queen. My friends and I decipher visions of the future for other votaries of Azura. Unfortunately, something is abducting us one by one. Bring this crystal to Pariah Abbey. Our Rose Mother will tell you the rest. I do hope you'll hurry to Pariah Abbey. I see the other oracles, my friends, languishing in chains. A prison that hurtles through space and time, filled with daedra and choking steam. Oh, gives me vertigo just thinking about it. All the time. Makes dinner dates interesting, I can tell you. One moment we're speaking about the consistency of the soup. The next, I'm fumbling with my spoon, rambling about talking candlesticks and trees made of blood. Ha! Haven't you a cheek? If you must know, it goes poorly. As I'm sure you can guess, the gentlemen rarely call on me a second time. I'm not sure. My parents thought me mad, abandoned me on the streets of Wayrest at the tender age of 8. Mercifully, the abbot of Pariah Abbey discovered my gifts and introduced me to the Twilight Queen. I achieved clarity. I have Azura to thank. 2. Kanzan and Musha, both powerful soothsayers in their own right. Kanzan vanished a week ago, pruning his sugar canes. His fellow votaries told me that he showed no signs of distress. He simply walked out into the field and never came back. Musha, an Argonian, disappeared just 2 days ago. He tends Azura's shrine in Blackmarsh. It's a quiet affair with a simple shrine and very few acolytes. He went out to light votary candles near the shrine and never returned. Beyond certain. I heard their cries. Still hear them, in fact. These abductions stink of Daedric plotting. Rival princes conspire against my lady constantly. One of them seeks to blind her by snatching up her oracles. Perhaps more than one.
What's this? Can't you let a man enjoy a moment's rest? You telling me King Emmerich needs this bench right now? I can't pay him. I bet my last coin on a fight at Hammer Death Arena and won! But the orc who bet against me refuses to pay up. You want money? Go beat it out of Ugurs. He's working with a gang of orcs down by the southern docks. You can't assault me in the middle of the street, can you? Look, I can give you this. Okay, it's my wedding ring. My wife left me a year ago, and it's worth a good amount of coin. Just take it, all right? Take it and leave me be.
Look, I have no interest in risking my money on this handheld ballistic contraption. Who would want a bow they have to load and fire with a trigger? I don't have any gold anyhow. Oh, I'm sorry. Thought you were someone else. Sorry, I'm flat broke. And it was actually one of Sarashi's friends who convinced me to sell the estate and invest in pig saddles for children. Big surprise, they didn't sell very well. I lost everything. Wish I had, but no. If you really want to collect for Sarashi and don't mind getting your hands dirty, you could always dig up my grandfather's grave at the temple. He was buried with a valuable stone. Always seemed like a waste to me. Wait a minute, that's not fair. I didn't... Look, my reputation's already bad enough. Last thing I need is more rumors. I do have some money. Just take this and go.
If you're here to join the crew, today's not the day. The ship's still anchored out in the harbor. I'd write down your name, but I just don't feel like it. Too much to drink last night at the Cloudy Dregs. Sorry, friend. I just headed back up to the Cloudy Dregs to speak with the moneylender, Sarashi. If I know the captain, he may be having a drink downstairs before he goes up.
What?
Too late. Gazugar comes.
I can tell by the look of you you're traveling around, meeting people, seeing new places. That's the life I'm going back to. This plantation is doomed, and my days here are done. It's just been bad luck, and lately, pure madness. Last week, the Iron Hand ogres attacked. They broke the levee, pillaged the place. The orcs drove them back, but that was just the beginning. Now bandits are looting everything we have left. That's the thing. It was my adventuring band that founded this plantation. The mage Drodara put up the gold, but we all decided to retire here. Bad idea. I just want to leave now, but the bandits are holding my companions. They need help. What a relief. I wouldn't have been comfortable just abandoning my companions, but if you're going to help them, that frees me up. And let me tell you, it feels good. I'm just not the settling down type. I know that now. Nah, they might want to stay, but I just can't deal with all that. We made a good go of it here, but I need to move on now. Spend some time alone. There's me, Jan, the thief. Then there's Drodara, our magic user, the brains of the team. The brawn came from our fighter, Narstig, and then there was our cleric, Murkwatcher. She's really a shaman, but we called her cleric back then. I guess our team does sound a bit quaint these days, doesn't it? Drodara first suggested we retire about 20 years ago, but it was 10 years later before we actually settled down here.
Thanks to you, young one. I will find my own escape now.
You fight well. Thank you for freeing me, friend.
This one thanks you, stranger. Please, come to meet in the storehouse.
This life is not the one for me. Star-crossed should be my name.
Rodara's companions. Friends. Dungy bandits would have tied them up like this one. You found them. You freed them, yes? Oh, this is good. Relieves Rodara greatly. Many years we traveled together, and many years we worked to make this plantation profitable. Rodara can abandon plantation. Good friends, he cannot. So, our sweet Breton sister has departed. So considerate. Bah. Jan always planned to return to the road. This one is not surprised she left. Wish her well. Perhaps this is the way for Rodara also. Why? Is this not what Rodara retired for? Ogres, floods, crocodiles, and bandits? So fun. Would you stay? Probably not. Rodara thinks maybe adventuring life is easier after all. Might need help convincing his other friends to leave, though. Ah, this one would be most grateful. After so many years, Rodara just doesn't have the heart to break everyone's dreams. You could talk to Narstig? He'll have better listening if it comes from you anyways. It was a boon from Bandar that you happened along. Was it Jan who asked you to help Rodara and the others? She has shared those feelings many times over the years. After the events of the last few days, Rodara thinks she might be right. Perhaps retirement is just a bad idea. Of course, Jan will always be a good friend. Still has wildness in her blood, though. Rodara understands that she needs to roam some. Perhaps she will join us when her legs grow weary. Rodara is old, and working a farm is hard, especially if starting over. Like Jan, Rodara also misses life of adventure. If you can convince Narstig and Murkwatcher to leave, this is what Rodara would prefer. Yes, this one was a member of the Mages Guild in good standing for many years. Was tired of casting spells, though. Rodara wanted to settle down and rest, but maybe that just wasn't the fate Riddlefar has seen for him.
Ah, the young adventurer again. You remind me of the old days. So many stories I could tell. But you'll want to be leaving, of course. Well, we might be heading out too. Jan might be right about the curse here. Speaking of Jan, have you seen her? He does? Imagine that. I was trying to think of how to convince him. That settles it then. If we're hitting the road, though, I'll need my old gear. Recovering it will be easier said than done. There is. If I had my armor, my helm, and my axe, I'd do it myself. But that's the thing. When we retired here, I buried all my adventuring gear out by the levee. Would you be willing to go out and get it for me? More I think about it, more I wonder why we stayed here this long. A true Nord dies with his axe in hand, not a pitchfork. Besides, this is more swamp now than farm. I spent years building that levee. Damn ogres! I suppose they were thinking just to leave destruction in their wake. even if they had sacked Wayrest. It's not like they planned to settle in these parts.
Now you face my chosen soldiers. Kathutet and Kaus ran you. Destroy these worlds. Aid me! Wretched mortals. Worms.
Now there's a sight for some sore old eyes. Oh, I missed this stuff. You've done me a great favor by getting it back. Probably doesn't look like much to you. But this helm and armor withstood the blows of the Orc warlord Noctul, a Nord killer at Farum. This axe lopped off that monster's misshapen head. I'll drink to those days, and more of them to come. Murkwatcher has aged much in these last few years. She often seems confused about where she is. She can be incredibly stubborn, too. Perhaps you could approach her about leaving.
Many drowned when the levees were broken. Others were eaten by the crocodiles. It's not the beasts' fault, though. It is their nature to hunt. Their spirits sing a song my heart hears. It is the song of the crocodile. They sing of nature's cycles. Every new life has its song, taken from an old one that is no more. Properly embodied, the life of a creature often requires its death. The song of the crocodile is loud and powerful. I know its melody. I know. It is natural for them to now return to a life of adventure, but not so for me. I must follow another path. All my life, I have harbored a secret. It drove me to leave home and seek adventure, but now I must face my inner truth. I could not, even if I wanted to. I am older than they. I would not survive more than a few days out there. I have seen the future in the waters, and I must remain here. Here at the end of my life, I must face the truth for the first time. That I am not an Argonian. I am a crocodile. This lifetime, I have borrowed the form of another, but my true form is calling me home. I must return to the river. No, I am not. I never have. My entire life, I have felt like a crocodile out of water. Literally. I am old now, and this body is dying. If I become a crocodile, I can start anew, live the life I was meant to live. There is a way, an incantation, the crocodile song. I was never taught it, but I have known it my whole life. One song must end for another to begin. There is an old crocodile here, Ripple Strike. With his heart, I can sing the song. Thank you. The river has truly guided you here for this purpose. Take this charm, place it near Ripple Strike's nest. He will not be able to resist the call. He will come out, and then you can kill him. Ripple Strike no longer sings. Have you taken his heart? Hurry! We must move quickly if we are to renew the song. Here then, I will begin the incantation. I would ask you to help me in this one last thing before I return to the river. Join me in vengeance. These bandits have destroyed what's left of my home. I would begin my next life by avenging my previous one, but I will need you to guide me. I wish to kill their leader. When I become a crocodile, I will forget this life. If I fight beside you, I can keep my focus, at least for a little while. I have made the preparations. Eating the heart is the last step. Fight with me before I am gone forever. Are you ready? Though my mind may not recall the favor you have done for me, my spirit will. And the river. The river never forgets. This charm will keep me close. If we are parted, use it, and I will come. When our task is done, tell Drodara of my fate.
Narstig told me what you have done for Murkwatcher. Though this seemed dangerously unnatural to Drodara, there is no point in questioning it now. Though Drodara is sad to see Murkwatcher leave us, he is happy to know this evil man is dead. Perhaps someday this plantation may flourish again. Not by Drodara's hand, though. Narstig and I are leaving. Goodbye, and thank you.
Now who's got a drink? You?
Your timing is impeccable. I'm on a critical mission for the Mages Guild, and I need assistance. These ruins contain a powerful relic, King Afrin's sword. With all the chaos in this region, the ogres, these cultists, the sword is not safe. You're smarter than you look. Yes, I need to bring King Afrin's sword back to Wayrest. The supernal dreamers got here first, but it's actually a good thing. Their meddling awakened the spirits of this place, who killed every last one of them. Right again. Complicating matters further, King Afrin's sword was shattered into 3 parts. Legend says it can only be reforged in King Afrin's tomb. If you're brave enough to find the pieces and get them reforged, there will be a reward. I'm actually jealous, you know. I've always wanted to see the ruins of King Afrin's hold. All the stories I've heard about the sword, the hold, the king himself. I'd go along, but I have no stomach for fighting the spirits of the dead. My research suggests the 3 parts of the sword, the blade, the hilt, and the pommel, can be found in the 3 towers within the hold. Only King Afrin's spirit can reforge the sword. You must take the pieces into the king's tomb. Smart and perceptive. I suppose this could be of use to you. There should be monuments in the ruins. Hold this holy symbol and pray at any of the monuments, and it should summon a fallen hero to fight at your side. Nothing in magic is certain, but necromancy, despite its bad reputation, is generally predictable. At the same time, the dead of Afrin's hold might have more solidarity. Use at your own risk, I suppose. There are books about the subject, you know. We don't have time for a history lesson. To summarize, Afrin was a ruthless merchant king early in the First Era. He conquered many of his neighbors, quite infamous. There are no specific records of what occurred here, only vague references. King Afrin allegedly spent all his time at war. While he was away, his enemies apparently attacked Afrin's hold and killed everyone. The king himself died soon after. King Afrin's sword was sacred. He never let anyone else touch it. We don't know how it was shattered or even if it really has magical properties. It certainly sounds like it's worth studying, though.
Why, Father? Why did you abandon us? Why did you let us die? When they came, they took us into the courtyard. I thought you would rescue us. Where were you? That sword. You loved it more than you ever loved me.
These are sacred grounds. My sacred grounds. They are not meant for the living. Are you the one who disturbs our rest? Where did you get those? Those are mine! None may touch those save for me. That blade, that hilt, that pommel. To hold them again. Please, give them to me. Ah, yes, my precious sword. To wield it again would feel so good. I should never have shattered it. I must make it whole again. I must! Why do you have these? What did you want with them? It matters not. All that matters now is that I might restore it, and hold it once again. There. The sword is whole again. It feels wrong, though. All wrong. Because it was my obsession with this weapon, and the war I waged with it that ruined all that I loved. My sweet daughter. While I fought to subjugate my neighbors, I left her here. They killed her, but it was my fault. Mira? You saw my Mira? My poor sweet child. I wronged her so. I worried that her spirit would not rest. I wanted to seek her out. I have been unable to enter her tomb, though. I did. Since the day I discovered what had happened, all I wanted was to beg her forgiveness. Even more than I wanted this damn sword. Perhaps now, though, perhaps I can make amends. Perhaps I can show her how sorry I am. You can help me. You can show her. You can tell her how sorry I am. If she sees the sword, maybe she will understand. Please, I beg you, give my daughter the sword. Yes, please do. Here, take it. Perhaps it will allow her to rest. Perhaps it will allow me to rest.
I should curse you, mortal, for disturbing our rest, but my spirit has never been at peace. I've walked these ruins for centuries, cursing the king's name. My father in name, but never in action. He left me here to die. Actions speak louder than words. My father was always quick to make promises, but in the end, when it mattered, he was away at war when I needed him most. An apology can't change that. His sword? His most prized possession? His most sacred treasure? He never even let anyone touch it. Is this how he hopes to find redemption? Give it to me. I would like nothing more than to destroy it. Then why have you come here? To mock my pain? The living have no concept of how the restless dead suffer. Be gone, then. I should curse. Actions speak louder than words. My father was always quick to make promises. His sword? Thank you. His connection to the sword is so strong, I can sense his energy. I remember there was a time when I was a little girl and he made me feel safe. I could at least speak to him, I suppose.
I would give it all, Mira. The sword, the keep, the kingdom. All of it for you.
I forgive you, Father.
My sword is again broken, but this time for good, and for good purpose. She has forgiven me. You have healed a wound that was centuries old. Even the greatest empire is a desolate domain without the ones you love. I never learned that lesson in life, but I hope you have. May the Eight be with you, young traveler.
Please, anyone. The Countess needs help. You've got to help me. I mean, us. I mean the whole town. The Countess has gone crazy, and everyone's fighting about who should be in charge. She's the only one who can run this place. We need to help her. I don't know, and if anyone would know, it would be me. I'm her manservant. The other day, she called all the servants up and dismissed us. Since then, she's been shut up in the house, refusing to leave. The whole town's talking about it. No, the Count died years ago, and she's been in charge ever since. Of course, every eligible man in Stormhaven has come calling, trying to court her. But she doesn't like them. Or hasn't married, at least. Please, can you just talk to her? I can't thank you enough. So many people in town just want to write her off. They're less worried about her welfare than they are about who should take authority of Windkeep. Ha! Everyone asks that. King Afrin conquered Windkeep and renamed it Afrin's Hold, just to the south. The town kept the old name. It's a small place, but we do a fair amount of trade. The Countess is wealthier than most of her suitors. Yeah. The Countess has at least 5 different men who've been courting her. Not common folk like you and me, either. We're talking noblemen. People with lots of gold to throw around. They buy her some pretty fancy gifts. I wouldn't go near that place if I were you. They say it's haunted. Some other people came by asking about it recently. Haven't seen them since. So like I said, I wouldn't go there. I don't know. They were all wearing the same types of clothes. Looked like some kind of Daedric cultists. All the more reason to stay away from Afrin's Hold, if you ask me.
The lines on my face tell a sad story. The tale of a woman whose youth was stolen by circumstance. I was widowed even before I flowered. I did what I thought was right. I assumed the burden of leadership, but I paid for that choice. I paid dearly. Of course, Matthias is such a sweet boy, and he served me well. It's a pity that I no longer have need of his service. I've been so false, so empty. I have no right to be a countess. I can see that now in my reflection. Windkeep needs a real leader, not a little girl masquerading as a woman of authority. Don't you see how hollow I am? I'm a shell of a person. Just look in the mirror.
This mirror is not for your eyes. Look away. Go away. You look into the mirror, seeking answers. But there are no answers here for you. I am here for the Countess, and the Countess alone. You would be wise to be on your way. I have taken the Countess away, but it was with no animosity. The Countess you see before you is the reflection. The true Countess is in the mirror, and that is where she will stay. I will not. The mirror is the gift to her, but she is the gift to me. If you wish to release her, you'll have to pass through to the other side, into my domain. You shall find a warm welcome there.
An enchanted saddle warmer? You're too generous, Sir Bryce. I don't go riding often these days, but I do appreciate the gesture.
So, does that mean you will consider my request for your hand?
You make it hard to resist your advances, but I don't want to rush into anything.
Perhaps you should tell him the truth, Elise. That you and I plan to sell the estate and elope to Somerset Isle.
Indeed I would, Eurelian, if that were truly the case. I'm afraid you gentlemen will have to excuse me now. Do you see? Do you see what I've become? Look at the reflection! I'm old, I'm fat, and sometimes Argonian. No one will ever admire me again. It's not? Are you sure? I don't want to go back to a world where I'm reviled. Where is Matthias? Why hasn't anyone come to help me? He did? How do you know Matthias? Never mind. Can you take me to him? Can we leave this terrible place? Whoever you are, I'm going to make sure you're well rewarded for this. Well, that was an adventure now, wasn't it? I'm fortunate that you came along. You certainly have my thanks. Where is Matthias? Where are the other servants? I did? That's worse than I thought, then. I had absolutely no control over myself whatsoever. Or was that even me? I'm sorry, I'm not used to being compromised like this. But that only doubles my debt to you. My first order of business now will be to shatter that mirror into 1,000,000 pieces. Next, and possibly even more important, I need to find out which of my suitors gave me the accursed thing. Greed, plain and simple. Since the day my husband died, there's been a line of suitors, each with a more extravagant gift than the last. They want to buy me and my title. I certainly have. Why should I share my land, my bed, with such fobbing louts? Now one of my suitors apparently seeks to take me out of the picture. Matthias will know which suitor dropped off the mirror. Would you help me investigate this? If you don't mind, please apologize to Matthias for me as well. Tell him I would have him and all the other servants return if they're willing. No more suitors, though. I'm done pretending. I have no intention of marrying again. Certainly not now. No, they're all equally shallow and untrustworthy. Sir Bryce and the Altmer Eurelian are the worst. It was probably one of those who gave me the mirror. Sir Bryce is a man of honor, a knight of the flame with what he claims is a passion to match. The poor man. Bryce believes his own falsehoods. He says he loves me, but if I were clothed in rags, I'd be invisible to him. Oh, I'm sure that several of my suitors will have already suggested they take custody of the estate. Both Eurelian and Sir Bryce are likely trying to rally support so they can petition the king. He claims he was drawn across the leagues by my beauty, but the truth is that Eurelian is the disinherited son of some wealthy mage. Rather than a talent for magic, though, Eurelian has a talent for spending. He would have me be his bank.
This can't be happening. Not Matthias. He wouldn't have stomped on a diseased rat, let alone hurt a person. We were just standing here talking. He said you went in to talk to the Countess, so we were waiting. Then all of a sudden an arrow flew out of nowhere right into his chest. He was dead before he hit the ground. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with what happened to the Countess. Did you talk to her? What did she say? Is she all right? The mirror? Is that what was wrong with her? Oh goodness, Matthias would have known. I don't really know the suitors. Maybe it was Sir Bryce, or that Altmer Eurelian. Probably the Altmer. He's shady. I'd check him first. I think he's from some rich family in the Aldmeri Dominion. All I've ever heard him talk about is gold. He even described the Countess's hair as strings of gold. Really respectable. I don't know why the Countess isn't more receptive to him. He's a Knight of the Flame and everything. I think he would make a good husband. Of course, he's never even noticed me.
This blacksmith makes quite a bit of gold. I wonder how much he pays in taxes to the Countess. You mean, if I were the Count? I hoped for something like that, but my days of courting the Countess have come to an end. I've no gold left for gifts. Haven't been able to give her anything for weeks. She's already forgotten me. No, I'm afraid not. I couldn't afford to give her a flower. So it was a mirror that finally won her over. Maybe Sir Bryce or Rowleen Munier was the lucky one. There is someone who would know for sure, but I'm sworn to secrecy. I suppose he's an honorable sort. He certainly carries himself that way. If I was to choose the suitor to whom I had lost the Countess's hand, it would be him. I could at least understand her wanting to marry a knight. I know of him, but I don't consort with members of the working class. I certainly hope he wasn't the one to win the Countess's hand. I would be humiliated to be upstaged by someone of low birth. I suppose I'd be a fool to turn down such an opportunity. Very well, there's a young woman named Elaine who's obsessed with the Countess. What some might call a stalker. She'll know who presented the mirror. She's the one to ask.
Oh, it's you. I saw you leaving the Countess's house earlier. I don't mean to intrude, but I simply have to ask. Are you yet another suitor come to seek her hand in marriage? Oh, well then, I suppose you're an old friend of the Countess's. I don't want to pry, of course, but, well, I am curious. What exactly is your relationship with her? The mirror? Matthias could have told you. Oh, but he was killed, wasn't he? Well, I don't mind telling you. It was actually a new suitor, but a strong contender. Tall, dark, handsome, very dignified. I heard his footman call him Syrian. Well, I mean, I was curious, so yes, I followed him. He hiked up into the woods north of town. Kind of peculiar, honestly. So, can you tell me what this is all about? I'm dying to know. Cursed? Mara's mercy! That's terrible! I guess you're going after Syrian, then. Is the Countess all right? Never mind. You have work to do. Go on. This is getting good. I can't wait to see what happens next.
A summons was recently sent ordering all Knights of the Flame to return to Firebrand Keep. For now, though, I feel my duties to remain here. Sir Hughes will understand.
is dark. My sweet wife is dead. My wife, Breloth, is dead. Mara, take her soul. She was the only good thing I ever knew in this world, and now I can't even give her a decent burial. You would do that? I wanted to be perfect. Breloth, she had such exquisite taste. My father said she was high upkeep, but I loved the way she just knew what she liked. She would have wanted her funeral to be special. She was a wood elf. She loved nature, flowers. If you could get some fallen blossoms to put in her hair, and her favorite meal, mud crab in the Wayside Inn's house wine, you'd actually get these for us? You coming along was such a blessing. Truly, the Eight sent you. This will mean so much to Breloth, so much. Skygazer peonies grow far to the north, near the waterfall. They prefer the higher ledges of the mountain ridge. Breloth loved their fragrant blossoms. They always looked wonderful in her hair. You'll find plenty of mud crabs at the base of the waterfall to the north. Stragglers are sometimes found in the passing stream. Their succulent claw meat is the most important part. My wife never cared for the rest. Finding the wine is simple. Talk to Jonsis Malarelli at the Wayside Inn. He'll sell it to you. You know how the Bosmer like their drink. I'd like to bury the bottle with her.
Welcome to the Wayside Inn. Whether it's cold beer or fine wine you prefer, we have it all. Ah, a connoisseur then. Always happy to show off what this region has to offer. I hope you enjoy it.
My wife will never know what happened to me. Take word to my wife. Augustine Derone should know I didn't make it. Please, tell her I love her.
Praise the aid, it's you. Quick, untie me. The Countess was so sad about Matthias. She sent me to get flowers for his funeral. But on the way, one of these crazy cultists snuck up and just grabbed me. He dragged me back here and they asked me all these questions. This whole thing, the mirror, it wasn't the suitors. These cultists wanted to get rid of the Countess so they can take over the town. They forced me to talk. I think they're planning to kill the Countess at the funeral. You have to go stop them.
Did you get everything? The blossoms, the mud crab claws? Did you forget the wine? Oh, Breloff, my love. Do you see what we have for you? She would have loved this. Flowers, wine, food. Everything will be perfect.
Have you come to pay your respects? That's very kind of you. Matthias was such... He was good to me. Better than I deserved, I think. In danger? Is it one of those pathetic suitors? Are they really that determined to have me out of the way? Oh no. That must be them. Please, you have to protect me. It looks clear now. Hurry. Meet me back at the manse.
Always digging. It seems like there are always so many dead people. Couldn't someone at the Mages Guild create some kind of magic shovel? I've seen magic brooms.
It seems you wound up saving me twice. I wish I knew a proper way to express my level of gratitude. Whoever these supernal dreamers are, they are cunning and clearly willing to go to great lengths to achieve their goals. I'm happy to be alive, and I'm also glad to know you stopped them cold. This has all been such an ordeal. I feel like there's so much to do now that it's over. Well, I want to go back to the graveyard and pay proper respects to my poor, sweet Matthias. And I suppose I must say something to my suitors. Speaking of which, I'm sorry you had to talk to them before. I know that must have been painful. I think it's probably best if I just stop pretending. I have no intention of marrying again, and I should stop playing these games. You helped me realize that.
This whole thing was so terrible. Who would have known those people were just hiding outside of town planning to take over, and only Julianos knows what else? I'm just glad it's all over.